Now we're going to move on to our panelist introductions. Our panelists will be leading the conference throughout the day and as well as tomorrow by questioning different policies that are throughout the day and asking how are we engaging youth in policies across our nation. So I will turn it over to the youth to introduce themselves, starting with Kaden.
Hello everybody, my name is Kaden Riley. I am a lived experience foster care and child welfare advocate. I was adopted at birth into a transracial family, and then around the age of 15, I was placed back into the foster care system, where I then aged out at 18. Throughout my time in care, I experienced a combination of residential, group homes, and mental health facilities. After aging out of care, I really made it my goal to help others that have been impacted through similar situations. I've worked as the community outreach coordinator for a nonprofit that helps assist young adults impacted by the foster care system. I also work alongside the Department of Health, Child and Family Services, a part of the Youth Advisory Council, assisting transition-aged youth. I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in psychology from Utah Tech University, intending to obtain my PhD in clinical neuropsychology. After I obtain my degree, I plan on opening my own practice where I look at a holistic approach and help those who have suffered through certain situations in life. I'm super excited to be here because when I think of change, I truly believe that it starts with experts championing advocacy. As I continue to advocate and educate others, I'll continue to create change that creates space that allows for policy to leave room at the table for change. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ray Scott. I use he, him, and them pronouns. I am the executive board president of global nonprofit Students with Psychosis. We are a nonprofit that seeks to provide peer support and empower students who have psychosis across the globe. I've served on a couple of other boards, including last year's Mental Health America Young Mental Health Leaders Council, as well as a local youth action board through the Community Shelter Board where I live in Columbus, Ohio. I am a current student at Ohio State University working on my bachelor's in social work. I have an Associate of Applied Science from Columbus State in social human services. I've spoken at a lot of conferences across the country about peer support and living with psychosis, especially as a student coming from that perspective. It's really important for me to be able to talk about psychosis because it's such a stigmatized condition. And even today, people with psychosis, that diagnosis leaves you vulnerable to things like forced restraint, forced medication, and hospitalizations. And so I think it's really important that we have like an open dialogue about psychosis and how that impacts things like housing insecurity, food insecurity, mental health in general. I'm also someone who is transgender, physically disabled, Jewish, and I've also been in the foster care system myself. And so I'm really passionate about having that lived experience and talking about these intersectional identities and how to include these experiences and other minorities in mental health research. I'm really interested in peer support, of course, but also art as like a vehicle of change in the recovery process. I'm really glad to be here, so thank you everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Kira Boxall and I'm a senior at Portsmouth High School in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, and an incoming freshman at Boston College studying biology and economics. And my pronouns are she, her. So I've been involved in various types of social justice work since my sophomore year of high school, starting with a community organization called A Leadership Journey that really gave me the opportunity to explore different social justice issues, especially medical racism against Black women, which is something that I have been interested in for as long as I can remember, even if I didn't know exactly what the issue that I knew was a problem was. And so a leadership journey gave me the opportunity to explore that and other social justice issues, and I was able to get my feet wet in the social justice world. And moving on through my high school career, I became involved in more community organizations, dealing with various social justice issues, and just became more passionate about making my voice heard, but also giving other youth the opportunity to have their voices heard. And right now, I am the co-founder of Shades of Knowledge, a new nonprofit organization that is focused on improving access to literature for underserved youth globally and locally, but I won't get into it too much to give my amazing co-founder, Julie Myrtle, a chance to explain that in her presentation. But one of my core beliefs is that youth voice truly matters. Throughout history, young people are always at the forefront of change and always at the beginning of movements for change that progress society. Youth know what the world that they want to live in looks like, and it is our job to change society, change our communities, and change people's hearts to make them feel the change that we want to see. In my own life, I'm a member of the Portsmouth Economic Development Council as a youth representative, and this council has really given me the opportunity to see why youth voice matters so much, especially on a local level, because there's so many councils and groups that are mostly comprised of older people. And while this is valuable, wisdom and lived experience is so valuable, there also needs to be youth voice at the table. In my town, the Economic Development Council consists of only white men that are all above the age of at least 40. And so being on that council has really given me the opportunity to not only bring to attention the economic impacts of young people in our town, but also the economic impacts of Black people in our town. Because even though my town is very, very white, there is still space for Black people, for young people to make economic impacts in our town. And to summarize, I really am just so blessed and humbled to be here with all these amazing youth panelists, because this shows that there are people that care about our voice, that there is progress being made. So thank you to all of you for being here.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Shahid. I just finished my freshman year at the University of Pittsburgh studying neuroscience. And the reason I'm here is I'm Egyptian, my family's from Egypt, and that is an area in the Middle East where mental health, youth policy, things like that are very stigmatized. And I fell into this trap, unfortunately, too, for a very long time, until in my sophomore year of high school, I accidentally ended up in a class called Applied Positive Psychology, a topic I had no interest in. I was a little bit mad that I was in because my schedule got messed up, but it was ultimately one of the best coincidences or chance events that ever happened to me. I was exposed to the nature of mental health in a book called The Happiness Advantage, which I recommend everyone reads. It's by Sean Aker. And there was a quote in it that struck me. It's that happiness is not the result of success, but rather success is the result of happiness. And this quote really resounded with me, made me realize the importance of having a stable mindset, to be able to build off of that and have more focus, more endurance, more empathy for others, and able to succeed in your own pursuits. So going off of that, I became very interested in mental health education, equity, advocacy. I began working with organizations such as Work to Be Well, which focuses on developing curriculum for other individuals. I also work currently with the Pennsylvania Youth Advocacy Network, and we're in the process of trying to pass legislation for school excused mental health days, which is another reason why I'm here. I want to see how to make policy successful, especially in swing states such as Pennsylvania, where politics is battleground, and it's very hard to get anything done. And yeah, I want to keep emphasizing the idea, as Kira mentioned, how youth have an important voice and how, especially for marginalized communities, minorities, how we have to spread education and awareness, especially for topics such as mental health, because in those communities, unfortunately, very few people recognize what they are going through and don't know where to go for help. So I'm very excited to be here.
And hello everyone, my name is Brandon Bond. I use the pronouns he and his. For me, as I go through my introduction, you'll see that I'm wearing a lot of different hats, and that's very intentional. Growing up as a black man in America, I've often been told that I need to stay in my lane. I need to just, kind of lower myself down and not exceed expectations or even have expectations in the first place. So I don't believe that. So a lot of my different roles and identities are centered around those opportunities. So for my career, I am a mental health and well-being student advocate at the University of Michigan. It's a brand new pilot position that is centered around embedding mental health and well-being at a systemic level in terms of thinking about public mental health as well, and how do we change the culture of the college and the university to make sure that it is as accommodating and inclusive and health promoting for not only our student population, but also our staff and faculty members too. In addition to that, I have a lot of other roles too. So I am a human rights commissioner for the city of Ann Arbor, so working on human and civil rights promotion and advocacy opportunities from a local level, and making sure that we are thinking around other opportunities that impact people's overall health and mental health too. So that can range from housing security to discrimination prevention, and kind of just restorative practices as well too. I'm on the board of two nonprofits, the International House of Ann Arbor, and that one is centered around intercultural experiences and bridging that gap, and that's like a huge focus for me as well. When we look at the history of mental health and well-being, we have to recognize that not everyone is starting at the same starting point. A lot of people are coming from traumatic beginnings to our mental health journeys, and that's transitioning to today's society as well. So I really want a lot of my work and focus to be centered around that acknowledgement and that recognition as we move forward. The other board I'm on is for Geared Space, which is a young adult suicide prevention nonprofit. So we're really focused on healing through social connections in the environment and non-clinical practices. Outside of that, I am on the Mental Health America Youth Policy Accelerator program with Tracy. You'll get to hear from him tomorrow, an amazing guy. So with that, it's focused on mental health promotion, specifically around youth peer support opportunities and federal policy advocacy. And I'm also working with Active Minds and MTV on their Ask campaign for Acknowledge, Support, and Keep in Touch. It's a national media campaign that is centered around the promotion of education on how to promote opportunities for youth to support each other. A lot of people end up going to their friends for their first source of support, so this is kind of just giving us an opportunity and a framework of how we can better support the people that we interact with as well too. And lastly, hopefully you can see through all of this work that a large part of my focus and background is focused on looking at mental health and well-being from a justice-oriented lens. I truly believe that we cannot have positive mental health and well-being without justice. That is the core and fundamental aspects of this, and I think with this summit and working at the policy level, that this is an amazing opportunity to get a step closer to that just world that we want. And I'm coming from this with a lot of different academic backgrounds, so my bachelor's in biopsychology, cognition, neuroscience, and international studies, to my dual master's in public health and social work. So looking forward to connecting with you all and learning more about these policies and being able to provide some feedback so we can, get one step closer to that just world. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of our youth panelists. It's incredible to hear about all the amazing things you're doing, and always I am just so mind blown by the amazing, incredible experiences that you have and the things you're doing in your communities. And I'm really excited to hear from all of you today and tomorrow about the policies that we will discuss today and tomorrow.